Hello. Once again, I come before you as a representative of the Illuminati. You may call me the Man. Well, this week's topic comes to us from Washington, D.C., where President Donald J. Trump has been busy signing executive orders, when he's not off golfing. And so a lot of people have gotten really upset by some of the things that he's done. And you have to remember, of course, as you people who know, who've watched this channel for quite a while, Donald Trump is not exactly Donald J. Trump. He's a regular person, but he plays a character named Donald J. Trump, and he's doing that on behalf of us and on behalf of, in the long run, humanity. He's gone outrageous and gotten larger than life in an attempt to teach the world some lessons. And one of those things that has come up is the power of the executive branch of the United States government. And so, of course, he signed some very controversial executive orders, one of which, of course, banned the immigration into our country of people from certain other countries that were predominantly Muslim. And of course, that was labeled a Muslim ban on Facebook and various other social media sites, when in fact it was not a Muslim ban in that it banned all Muslims. It would just ban people from these particular predominantly Muslim countries, even if they were Christian or something else, or none of the above. Some of those are still around. And so yeah, it banned all of those, while of course not hurting Donald Trump's business assets in other Muslim countries, because we couldn't ask him to do that. I mean, he's doing us a favor by pretending to be this person that is in the White House and is basically an object lesson in what not to do. So, it wouldn't be fair to us to cut him off at the knees for his businesses. He's just doing us a really, really huge favor. So we appreciated that. And so, yeah, a lot of people got really upset. They took to the streets. They were people being arrested in airports and held, and it just, it got a little wild there for a while, didn't it? And so, yeah, it was very interesting. Now, all this, of course, was to highlight the strength of the executive branch and what they can and cannot do through executive orders. Now, of course, executive orders have a long and storied history in America. The first one was given by the first president of the United States. He actually had 8 executive orders. Average about 1 per year, actually. He was in office, but yeah, he issued an order. He wanted his administration, his cabinets, everybody who was involved in that administration to report back to him the very particular nature of their particular office. He wanted to make sure they understood what they were supposed to be doing. He wanted to make sure he understood what they were supposed to be doing. It was a very nice thing to do, as a matter of fact. And that's kind of what most of the executive orders were kind of like. I mean, really, you don't really see a big jump of executive orders until you get to Theodore Roosevelt, who he was the first president to break 1,000. He had a very interesting philosophy of governance, let's say. He assumed that if the Constitution didn't say you could do it, you could probably do it. And so, yeah, he used executive order to rule by fiat in many instances, and he basically had to. Now, you have to understand, at the time, certain powers had taken over, and they had gotten so large that monopolies had formed, and their influence was strangling the Republic of the United States. And so, Roosevelt broke these guys up, and he did it basically fighting those interests. I mean, it took a lot of effort on his part, and he actually did everybody a favor. Now, of course, the all-time high would be Franklin Roosevelt, 3,000 executive orders. Now, since that time, things have kind of fallen off, right? Nobody's gotten anywhere near that, and yeah, it's fallen out of favor. However, every once in a while, you get a president who decides, you know what, maybe I don't need the Congress. Maybe the court system doesn't really speak for the people. I speak for the people. I have been elected by the people. Therefore, I will do what I want to do. And that's a very dangerous kind of thing. You don't really want that. And so, we have, along the way, tried to highlight what happens when power is concentrated too much in the hands of one person. Even in the United States, we had 8 years ago, we did it with Barack Obama. And half the country got really upset about it. And of course now, 8 years later, when their guy's in, the other half of the country gets really upset about it. And so hopefully everybody gets upset about it, wants to make sure that the executive branch does not become a monarchy of some kind. authoritarian kind of government, because, you know, America has no king. America needs no king. So, yeah. But, you know, don't worry about the Donald Trump stuff. Once again, like we said, the whole thing was put out, and we knew it would be stopped. I mean, the court system, the whole third branch of the three branches of the federal government, you know, judicial, and you got the legislative, you got the executive, but the judicial, of course, they have to rule on stuff and say, nope, that's not right. The legislative, where the laws actually come from, that the president's supposed to be enforcing, you know, they get all upset. And, nope, can't do that. And that's just the way it works. You know, each one of these branches looking out for themselves in their own selfish need to get reelected. Or, of course, you look at the Supreme Court, the judicial, don't have to worry about that. But still, you know, they kind of look at each other and they go, well, I want this and I want that. And, you know, often they conflict. And so, you know, nobody gets out of hand. It just kind of slows everything down. And changes happen very slowly, but gradually, and so people can accept them more. It's a much better system, I think. I think it's a much better system. And so, yeah, that's all he's doing. He's just proving that. Now, of course, there were other executive orders that he could have used to do the same thing, but it probably wouldn't have gotten everybody out of shape, and they probably would not have cared as much, and then they probably wouldn't have gone to the streets and protested, and then the whole lesson would probably have been lost. But there were a few. They got a little ridiculous. Johnson kind of recommended a couple. Only one of his got through. But anyway, there was the executive order to abolish Taco Tuesdays. He wanted to move it to Friday. And that just didn't make any sense. Taco Fridays. I mean, where's the alliteration? Where's the consonants? I mean, there's nothing there. It's just, you know, Taco Friday. It didn't make any sense. So that got put out. A National Cat Day as a federal holiday. That was kind of a low-key joke, you know, because of what you're supposed to grab in the campaign trail. Cat. Yeah, that was a completely different one. So we didn't go with that one. And then there was a one to make Wall-E the one of the National Registry movies, an official National Registry, Wall-E. But we thought that was a little bit too on the nose, so we kind of let that go too. Anyway, you know, it all worked out. Everybody can see that there's limitations to the executive branch. That's just all there is to it, including the people who hold that office in the White House. They should all know when they get there, they can't do everything they want. And so, you know, we're just reminding everybody that that's just the way it is. We in the Illuminati, we love freedom. And if you've watched this video or this channel for a long time, you know why. Free people are easier to control. You can set up the dominoes a lot easier. You can, you know, have the butterfly flap its wings, and then you got world peace in about 3,000 years. So, you know, it kind of works out that way. If you've got somebody who's authoritarian, and you know, you got the Ills over there, and the Kims or whatever in North Korea or something like that, it's hard to get those people out. They're so entrenched, you know, and it usually takes a lot of money, you know, maybe some force, some blood, and that's not good. You know, nobody likes that. So, you know, you negotiate, you diplomacy. It slows down everything. But freedom, on the other hand, really, really good. Especially if you're trying to benefit the entire world by making the world a more kind and gentle place in which to live. And that's all we're doing. And we would like your help on that. As a matter of fact, you can help us. There is something you can do. We, the Illuminati, would ask you that when you walk outside your house or your apartment or tent, I don't know, car, wherever you happen to live, and you look up there in the sky, you see those chemtrails just blazing right across the sky. Well, we in the Illuminati would suggest that you not worry about those. In fact, we would suggest that you just relax and breathe deeply.